1st of April, why it is called the April Fool's Day. Anyone has an idea? Every year we hear of this April Fool Days. Why do we have 1st of April being not celebrated, but people know it as April Fool Day? Why? Anyone has any idea? I did some bit of study and have some notes on it. Anyone has an idea why 1st of April is called the April Fool's Day? This day, people do play some pranks. Yes? No? Do they do that? Okay. Is it in vogue? Is it in fashion? Is it somewhere, or it's just like any other day? Any inputs, any suggestion? Is it like any other day, or it is different from a regular day? It's different from a regular day? Huh? It's a Fool's Day. So you might get somebody fooling you. Okay. And we don't mind. And later on you say, today's April Fool. So I'm going to come to that. That is my work today. So why do we have this as the 1st of April as April Fool's Day? Anyone? What could be possible reason? So I also did go through the notes which are there on the net. It says that in the medieval ages, way back in 16th century in Europe, most of the European countries, including France, they used to celebrate the new year starting from 25th of March. And the celebrations would culminate on 1st of April. Including France, that was the vogue, but some countries would call these people as foolish. And the very fact that they would culminate the celebrations on 1st of April, it was called a Fool's Day. It was day for the fools. They are culminating the celebration. The year starts on 1st of January. After the Christian calendar AD, 1st of January is considered as the start of a year. So they were called fools because they are celebrating. It was only in the 16th century that France finally accepted and New Year was celebrated from 1st Jan onwards. Now I thought we can take this opportunity to talk about, here we have a scenario where one particular day in a year is tagged as a Fool's Day. So I thought, let's take this opportunity, talk about how we all are getting fooled every day. How many of us agree with this? A lot of people think that 1st April is a day where you can play some pranks, make someone fool, and then you can get off saying that, okay, it's April Fool Banaya. We all are getting fooled on daily basis. Now, I want answer from you, why and how. By the way, I was interacting with some Times of India officials. We were just contemplating, doing some program we were planning in South Bombay. So we were thinking, what's the price involved, cost implications? So we spoke to one of the person. You know that front page ad, the jacket cover on Times of India, the prime, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? I was shocked. 40 lakh. That half jacket in the front page, 15 lakh rupees. Quarter page in Times of India, about 4 lakhs, 5 lakh rupees. Bombay edition. Yeah, you're right. If it's pan-India, then it's like exponentially high. So these advertisements, I was talking about in one of the things, you're right, this in IPL, now the IPL is going on, a 10-second slot, depending on whether it's semi-final, final or this thing, 10-second slot for an advertisement. How much does it cost? Any guess? Few lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. But they don't take one slot, they take, 50 slots. So every time somebody goes out, you have a Pepsi ad coming in, so they have taken a whole package, 50 ads or 100 ads or 150 ads. And the budget could be in crores. Now, if a company is willing to spend 150 crore in buying that space, how much would they spend in making that ad, which will deliver value because they're anyway investing 50 crores for that advertising budget. So each ad could be, again in crores for a 30-second or a 10-second ad. And brains, intelligent people have sat together in boardrooms, have had hours and hours of discussions, and then can come up with script, and then come up with, okay, this is how we're going to shoot, this is where we're going to shoot. All that plan is made. And finally a 10-second or 15-second commercial is made. And we are sitting in front of our television, and it goes in. In fact, many countries have banned some ads because they involve subliminal messaging. You don't even know at a very subliminal level, at a very subconscious message level, without your knowledge, the message is delivered to you and it gets registered in your subconscious mind. So in other words, the brains who have put together, come together, worked together, planned together and executed something which is for a 10-second, which appears very harmless, but it just goes and influences you. And every moment, they say these days why people are, I was just reading an article that says people are hooked on to their phones, mobile phones. And people have understood that through their phones, they can get your attention. And that's how people don't lose an opportunity. If you're browsing your phone, ads keep popping up. Am I right? And people are paying for that. They know that people are spending 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours on their phones, and through the ads, they can influence the behavior. So in that sense, we are getting, now somebody may say, no, I don't get impacted. I'll make my choices. I have my freedom. I will exercise my discretion. I'm not going to get influenced like that. I'm not gullible. I'm not a fool. But actually, we are getting fooled. I remember when one of my friend's brother, he was in ITC. He was working in ITC and he was in the marketing division. So every year, I don't know, some part of the year they make a budget for the whole year where they budget what's the marketing budget, what's the, different areas are allocated different amounts for this expenses. So ITC diversified into many products, agro products and different other products. So, and many of the divisions, I don't want to get into the details because I may not have exact figures, but many of their verticals were not doing well financially from profit perspective. So in one of the board meeting, which this friend's brother was also there, they decided that let's focus on our core business. What is the core business? Tobacco. ITC, Indian Tobacco Company. And in that particular year, because of series of awareness campaigns, cigarette smoking is injurious to health, cigarette smoking is injurious to health, and warnings being flashed, and every packet has this thing, they found that it's having an impact. Now they have to do something. So they doubled the advertising budget that particular year for the tobacco products, for cigarettes. Because this is one business where they realize that they keep losing customers. How do they lose customers? Not because the customers go to some other brand. They die. Every year in India, some huge figures, 10 lakh people die of deaths related to tobacco or cigarette smoking. So you keep losing customers, so you need to build that base by advertising and by this. That's how you have Will's Trophy. Earlier it used to be there. Now you cannot very openly advertise these products, but then very subtly the advertisement still goes on. So any other way where we are getting fooled? Here we have an example of one day which is earmarked. It's a Fool's Day, 1st April. But how are we getting fooled by Maya every day? I want all of you to little bit think and let us have a discussion around that. How are we getting fooled by Maya, not on one day of the year, but every day? How and why? So you're saying we focus on accumulating so many assets and we leave everything and go away. Okay. Anybody else? How is Maya fooling us? How are we getting fooled? We always think, ye ho jaye bas, tab to once you settle down and it's done. It happened with me also. My parents used to say, but 12th mein somehow you get into an engineering college, then whether 4 years, 5 years, at least you'll come out of an engineer. But then once you get in engineering college, you think it's done, but then you start worrying about campus placements, you have to have a good CGPI and all those things. It goes on and on and on. Anybody else? What are the various ways in which we are getting fooled on a regular basis, on a daily basis, at times without even our knowledge? We don't even know that we don't know. The reality is very different from what we watch in movies. Many times movies end with, and they lived happily thereafter. Dishum, dishum, hero, heroine, finally, the villain comes in and then, he wanted to marry her and then she resisted and then finally jumps in the hero and then there was a fight between villain and hero and finally she marries the hero and then, there was a love story between them and then finally the movie ended after a great struggle and they lived happily after. Is that true? Today morning we had a class and the discussion ensued. The first lesson, the first fundamental lesson in our spiritual journey is to realize the fact, to have an understanding. What is that? The first fundamental lesson which any spiritual aspirant is expected to have, a realization, a deep understanding, a conviction. What is that? First understanding. The basic, the most important understanding. What is that? We are the souls, we are not the body. Now how Maya fools us, let me explain to you. We strongly live with this understanding that I am the body. And it's very, very deep rooted. That's how you see, no doubt, we have to be patriotic. I'm not saying that we can be this thing. But how much deeply entrenched we are in the understanding that I am Indian. Actually, the fact is you are not an Indian. It is referring to your body, which is temporary, which is like a dress. It is okay to say that I have a Mercedes car, but it is different to identify that I am the car. There's a difference between the two. There's nothing wrong in having a car, but there's a great problem if you identify I am the car. In today's world, we are deeply convinced of the wrong understanding that I am the car, I am the body. I am an Indian, I am a man. And now we have that understanding, a natural consequence, natural outcome of that understanding. What is the natural outcome of that understanding? I am the body. I want to be happy. That's our natural desire. Everyone is seeking happiness. So once we are convinced, Maya has tricked us into believing that I am the body, then what happens? Maya has tricked us. Yes, you are the body. All this advertising industry is making us believe that what is not true. I am the body. You are the body. You will look good by applying this cream. You will be healthy if you eat this. So natural outcome of that understanding is I will be happy if I gratify my body, gratify my senses, if I dabble in bodily pleasures. I am the body. If I have to be happy, then I have to indulge my senses, my body in bodily pleasures. Now, in the morning we were discussing, what's wrong with bodily pleasure? What if I like doing something, I like eating rasgullas, I eat, I dabble. What's wrong? Can anyone help me with an answer? What's wrong? Why do I have to even control my senses? Why do I even have to come to understanding I am not the body? I am happy I am the body and I indulge, I get a pleasure. Temporarily, then eat 2 rasgullas. One rasgulla is, if you feel that one rasgulla is not giving you that much happiness, eat two. Anybody else? What's wrong with the understanding that I am the body and my happiness increases by increasing my sensual happiness? So this is a very important discussion we're having. Some of us who have joined late, we are having this discussion in line with the topic 1st April being celebrated as April Fool's Day. So from that we took off a trigger. How we are getting fooled, not on 1st of April, but every day. 365 days in a year. Maya tricks us. What is that trick? What is that sham? What is that scam? Which in human form of life we can bust. We can come out of. Tamasi ma jyotirgamaya. So we think that my pleasure will increase if I dabble more and more in my sensual pleasures, bodily pleasures. How are we getting cheated by Maya? How Maya is making a fool of us on a daily basis. And how not to get. Suppose somebody makes a fool of us, we feel bad. At times somebody, even 1st of April, we will be cautious. I shouldn't get fooled. Bada fool banaya, aapko fool banaya. Then we also feel little, it's our ego gets hurt. Meko buddhu bana diya usne. So how not to get fooled by Maya is what we're talking about. This is no way to say that I am not the body and hence I completely do not take care of the body. Sometimes people go to that extreme. After they come to this knowledge, they stop exercising, they stop going for a walk, stop going for, taking care of the body because I am not the body. Which is a wrong understanding. So in the Gita, Krishna talks about Kshetra and Kshetragna. Kshetra means the body, yantra, and Kshetragna means the real occupier of the body. Kshetra is very important. Just like I gave example of a car. To identify with the car is wrong, but car can be used very nicely. And car, being a yantra, follows certain laws. Like for example, even if you are using car for Lord Seva, from time to time you have to check the tire pressures, air pressure, you have to send it to the service station. One day you come for a program, Abhishek is going on, you collect Charnamrit and you put in that petrol tank and says, Charnamrit, aap bhi spiritual ho jao thoda sa. Will it work? It follows certain laws. Now if you don't take care of your car, even if you want to use it for Lord service, a time will come if you're not servicing it, if you're not checking it properly, it will stop functioning properly. So two extremes we have to avoid when we say that I am not the body. One extreme is, I am not the body, so I am reckless about bodily minimum needs of rest, for recuperation, for sleep. Krishna also says one who is regulated in his eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains arising from material contact. The soul is in now material contact. So body needs rest, body needs exercise, body needs proper nutrition. So one extreme is, I am not the body, so I don't care of the body, I am indifferent to the body, I neglect the body, I ignore the bodily needs. That is wrong. The other extreme is, I am the body and then enroll for a gym and every day 2 hours, 3 hours, 6-pack, that's my goal. That's also wrong. Body is a yantra which has been given to us. I am residing in that yantra. I am not that yantra. I have to maintain that yantra in good shape for me to do the real business. For which, if 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of exercise, stretching, Surya Namaskar, all that is required, I do it. Yes. So is that clear? First thing. So I am not the body does not mean that, now I am not the body does not mean that Krishna is recommending that we stop eating, we stop seeing. Anything I see, anything I eat which is pleasurable to taste, that is Maya. No. Again we avoid too extreme. The goal should not become that My goal is to seek pleasure through my tongue and I eat. I always seek for all pleasurable things, no matter from which source they come, whether it's veg, non-veg, so long as it is tasting for my taste buds, I take it. That's another extreme. The other extreme is, no, I am not the body. Anything which is tasty for my tongue, it has to be shunned. It has to be renounced. That's other extreme. So, what's wrong when we move in life with the understanding? So what happens when we execute or rather live our life with that understanding? Deep, I am in the body, always seeking material pleasure, which is bodily pleasure, and trying to maximize it. Maya's trap is, Maya's scam is, which Krishna busts in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that this very pleasure, ye hi samsparshaja bhoga. Anyone would like to help me with the second line? Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukha yona hi evate. The scam is, Maya fools us that this very pleasure which we so emphatically, enthusiastically seek, hoping that it will make me happy, that very pleasure becomes the cause of my misery. Now here is a crude example you can relate with. Bhagavatam gives this example of a fish. Now you see the fisherman, when he goes to catch a fish, what does he do on that fishing hook? He puts a bait and ensures that bait is a worm which is very, very tempting for the fish to eat. Now fish gets tempted, it wants happiness, it is seeking happiness, it goes for that bait, and that very pleasure which the fish is seeking becomes the cause of death of that fish. Today, if we are in a messy situation in life, if we do root cause analysis, work backwards. If I am entangled, हम लोग सब बोलते हैं हम माया जाल में फंसे हुए हैं. If you work backwards, कैसे फंसे मैं? How did I fail? How did I get entangled? Because we moved with that understanding, just like that fish. ये मिल जाए, I will enjoy like that. I'll be very, very happy. I'll be very, very excited, and that very excitement, that very happiness became the cause of my entanglement. अगर हम लोग आज फंसे हुए हैं, some people can realize we are all stuck, we are all entangled, फंसे हुए हैं, माया जाल में फंसे हुए हैं. How many of us believe माया जाल में फंसे हुए हैं? Please raise your hands. सोच रहे हैं लोग, करें नहीं करें? Okay. You have time after the class, you can think. Why? If you do the root cause analysis, it's because of this understanding which makes us believe that, yes, this happiness I seek, with all enthu, with all this thing I go for it, and I get into it. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukha yona hi evate. Adyavanti kaunteya. It has adi and anta. It is temporary. Nate ramate buddha. Buddha means an intelligent person. Ramate means do not delight. Buddha means intelligent person does not delight in such pleasures. Sukham atyantikam atindriyam. Nothing wrong about seeking sukham. We all are pleasure-seeking beings. But the real pleasure, what will completely satisfy us, which we all are actually wanting to experience, is atyantikam. Ant means ending. Atyantikam means it is unending. And atindriyam, that which we will experience from our transcendental senses, not material senses.